The house, it is rocking. It 176 like, and it's where I was born and bred, what they say. A terraced house. It's end of a block of 8.
I like these type of houses, you know. I prefer them to the new type that's only small fiddly rooms. My mother's same, like, she always likes a house where you can open the back door and you're straight onto the fresh air. She prefers these type of houses, you know. She likes to open the back door and feel the fresh air. She always used to have the back door open when I came home from work. First thing I used to do was close it because I was always cold. She was always hot. Right then, I wish to have a nice cup of tea now.
Yes, please.
You want one, Ma?
Yes, please.
I'm parched. I've been to Barnsley today and I'm ready for a nice cuppa. Yeah. I've got my birth certificate for my passport for my holidays. You know how much it cost me?
No.
£2.40. This is the family. We all grew up in this house, but most of us now are married and have homes of our own. Unfortunately, Father is not with us anymore, but he's said to look very much like Alan. Alan's the youngest. He'll be 46 this month. He's always been happy-go-lucky. He'll spend all his money and then want to spend somebody else's, you know, that type. And then Jeffrey's next. When he was younger, he was a devil for starting arguments, and then he'd sit back and grin sort of thing once he'd got the argument starting. Then Mary comes next. She was 50. She worked in the mills. The slogger. He's always stayed at home. Joan, she's always stayed at home and helped, you know, with the housework. And after Joan, we've got Stan. He's not too well. Then we move on to Fred. He was always a bit of a rogue. You used to have to be careful with him, you know, because if they're out lying about, he'd pick it up. And then after Fred comes the eldest, Mac. He's 62, and he's very quiet, is Mac. If you go up to their house, you know, you're lucky if you get 2 words out of him. Mother's 83. She was 83 in May, and her eyesight's failing, and she's a little bit deaf, but other than that, she's not too bad in health, you know. I should say she's been a dedicated mother. All her interest has been bringing us up and looking after us, you know.
When we came to live at Grindthorpe, I had 6 children. We've not really had what you would call a lot of bad luck. We've been pretty fair. We've had 9 children.
There's 6 brothers. We've all worked out pit like. It's run it family. There's my father and my grandfather before me worked in pits. We've all been on coal face in this time. Is it jam again or what? Jam. I got on then, Nick.
It's bread and jam. I had to put it up myself.
Really, there's nothing else for to go into when you're born in a mining village like Grimethorpe. It's straight down pit as soon as you leave school. The biggest part of people born in this area.
The house belongs to Mr. Jennison. I think he lives at Pontefract House, Doncaster. I'm not so sure. He's got a lady who collects rent. Comes every Friday morning about 11 o'clock. Well, they were built about 1900.
We got this house in September 1931. We'd hardly any furniture when we came. We had nothing in here. We had a table, chairs, we had a ringing machine, and washing tattle. We'd only beds. 1 chest of drawers we had upstairs that belonged to my granny, and that's about all we had.
No, I'm not took some.
How much are we putting in it middle?
2 pence here?
Two p? We'll get on it, something.
Hey, I ain't got organised yet, hang on.
He's got it.
Right.
Got cards out, have we?
Yeah.
There's not
You're not playing.
Will you wait? You've too many hands.
Calling is when one person goes into another person's house and they sit talking together. Sometimes there's some houses where there's 1 or 2 or 3 going and then they have a talking session. We always call it calling.
I'm all confused, but I'm...
I can't join it when it's out.
I've told Arslan that that's not got to be touched, it's got to go towards having my grave done up. Because it'll cost a bit to have grave up.
Well, that's not going to happen for a
No.
Move that straight,
We
please.
can't make tea and play at cards.
Well, will you finish this then?
Who's winning?
I ain't got none.
We haven't got none yet.
Here.
Well, that's yours. Come on.
Follow that.
Here.
I don't like women gabbing when they're coming in calling. I've never have done. I don't know why, what reason is. They only talk about other people, don't they? Don't talk about hotels. They only pull in other people to pieces. I've never been one for getting amongst the women.
Because just being drunk, you're wasting your space.
Oh, sorry, I ever spoke.
So that's mine.
That's yours, you've took it, I am.
Just once in a lifetime, a man knows a moment, one beautiful moment, when fate takes his hand.
The mining is the biggest part of Grimthorpe, you know. It's the livelihood, really, isn't it, the mine? You can guarantee that, well, every night you go out, if you go into a local pub or club, the subject always arises the pit, you know.
I feel like a giant, I soar like an eagle, just as though I had wings. And this is my moment, my destiny calls me. And though it may be just once in a lifetime, I'm gonna do great things. Today, the minutes seem like hours, the hours go so slowly, and still the sky is light. Oh, moon, grow bright, and make this endless day endless night
What a show ain't land all day. Hey! Been rough today, I'll tell you.
Yeah, man, my wages was there. When we used to draw his wages, we used to fetch it home and tip it up like. Give your mother all the wage packet, unopened, and my mother used to open it and give us so much back. If ever we wanted a suit, pair of shoes, it were always out at money we'd already give his mother.
Well, I'll give you £1 instead of giving you 10 shillings.
Normally I'd have gone to Alan Norton's box with this.
Well, don't get drunk then if you go, will you? We had all bare floors with no lino, no nothing down. We used to have to scrub all wooden floors upstairs.
There were no flushing toilets in them days. There were 2 men used to come round cleaning them out. They used to put disinfectant down They used to come late at night because it flies. There used to be, you know, in summer, there used to be lots of flies flying up and down.
At one time, there used to be 5 of us slept up attic here, and it was terribly cold, especially at winter time. I remember all of us having big overcoats on bottom of bed. We always used to call them old army coats, like. And it was that cold at winter time, and in the morning you'd get out of bed and go for the pittle pot, and it was nothing for to see out like half an inch of ice on top on it. So you can imagine how cold it used to be. And then when we grew up and I got to drinking age and we were all sleeping up here, many a time you get out of bed at 4 o'clock at morning for to use pittle pot, and there used to be about 2 inch of room or inch of room, and you used to say to yourself, I wonder if it'll fit in, because if it didn't, you had to go all the way downstairs, out at back door and down you out the toilet, and it wasn't very comfortable at 4 o'clock at morning.
Good morning, I thought you'd overlaid.
Have a good on there, slugger.
Good. Jump for you.
I left school at Friday. I went down on Friday with my dad, signed on, and we started at Monday morning. The shift was 6 o'clock, while 1:30 days. Afternoons were 2 o'clock, while 9:30. But I wanted to leave school, but when I did a week down there, I was wishing I were back at school.
Well, we don't ever grow like yesterday, slug.
I'm going back to the main gate, Jeff. My father used to tell us about it. He used to tell us what it was like. He used to talk about it being low and awkward for the conditions that they worked in, like. In my father's days, I should think there'd be a lot more dust. I should think there'd be times when you'd be working outside of a person 3 or 4 yards off him and you wouldn't be able to see him.
Come and get your bread.
Steroids broke out, snack time!
I'm getting no money for this. Could eat a dead donkey.
When Grindthorpe pit baths put in, we went down to see them. On Sunday afternoon it was. Before the pit baths was built, my husband used to come home in his pit muck, and he used to have to strip to the waist to get bathed in the sink. And this little bath that's on the table, I bought it for 1 and 6pence to bath the children in. We used to put it on the hearth and bath the kiddies in it on a night.
First one in got the clean water, and last one in was definitely getting in mucky water, which state we used to get. Then at week, my mother used to sit us on what we call copper top and washers. And I've always said she's got a hand like a piece of sandpaper, and she didn't half used to rub us down.
We managed all right, Lara, but we got stuck sometimes. I had a neighbour that lived at top house, and if I wanted anything in week, you know, if I run short of anything, and I went in and asked her, she'd get me little bits at shop, and then I'd pay her at weekends for it.
It is, it's freezing. I've been up village, I'm freezing.
Shopping.
I'm going to do some washing now.
Oh, I'll do some washing now.
Yeah.
I won't like to do it for you, anyway.
No, you can't get nobody to do it for you.
No, right. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Right. was bread and jam.
Yes. We used to bake a stone of flour. It used to bake about 8 loaves and 2 oven bottom cakes we used to bake. They used to have bread and jam mostly for the breakfast and the teas when they were little. When they got grown up, I mean, it were different when they were working. You had to give them extra.
Is that for me? Is that for me?
Yes.
We all had to stand round the tables. We only 1 or 2 chairs, and it was easy for us all to stand together, so we'd be all round table together. But if we sat down, probably we'd have to have 2 or 3 sittings, you see.
Is that
So
for me?
Yeah.
we all just
Thank you.
automatically
Thank you.
stood at table when we were kids.
Nice, isn't it, Lisa? Yeah. Mum, can I have some more after this?
When we come home, we used to come in and she'd been baking, Mother. We used to get oven bottom cake, cut it in half, that was for 2 of us. Put a bit of margarine and jam, and we used to go out waiting his hands. That was his tea, that.
But worst punishment in them days was bed. We got a lot sent to bed for doing this and sent to bed for doing that wrong. We used to jump dasters when we were little, and it was like jumping over a stream. Many a time we used to get wet through and finished up, sludged up to the knees. We used to come in and it used to be washed and bed straight away, no matter if it was early afternoon or what. I once remember coming up stairs after being sent to bed, and we come out of our back bedroom to the front window and looked out at it, and there were 2 women fighting up top of the street. Used to get a lot of fights in the street at that time. And I just remember my mum stood at the front door underneath us, and she saw us. We didn't half scarper into the back bedroom in his own bed, because she was coming upstairs like out. I think my father was a chap that lived for a day. And I think that's how he got on well with people.
He smoked and he liked a pint of beer. He used to like to go out for a pint of beer. He was just ordinary like anybody else, and he was good with kiddies. And he used to go up street shopping and buying things.
I'll never forget that Christmas I come down. I think it was Christmas Eve when he rode. He did a few pints, man, like he always said. And I come down in my pyjamas. He was just opening this parcel, newspaper. He just opened it. And I've never seen as many lead soldiers in my life. They're only small, with bases on the bottom, like, for them to stand up, and red coats and old Indian type hats. That's definitely a Christmas I'll never forget. Never.
When Alan was 5 weeks old, he was poorly, so I sent for the doctor. The doctor came and said he had a touch of pneumonia. He went all through the house to see where we could put the cot. So he decided to put it in the room and put a blanket round to keep the draft off him. So one night, I woke up and the dog was howling outside the front door. And they say when a dog howls and anyone's poorly, it's a sign of death, so I got a bit frightened. So I shouted my husband up, and he said, don't worry, he says, it's the buzzer that's making the dog howl. The buzzer goes for the men to get up in the morning for the pit, so I wasn't frightened anymore.
Good morning. morning, son.
Hello.
What time do you want your breakfast cooking, Slab?
I'll cook it, you don't need to bother. I'll see to it.
I'll get table ready then, shall I?
Can do, yeah. You slept all right?
No, that's a very well. Woke up about 3:30. I couldn't get to sleep anymore.
Oh dear.
Right, yeah, now you can cook it. Have you cooked your breakfast all right?
Yes, certainly I have.
That's good. You're lucky to get one like that. Your dad didn't used to get one when you were on.
Didn't he?
He used to get up about 4:30 in the morning. They used to go out about 5:15. They used to get up, light fire, and then put kettle and that on, and then shout them up, and then I used to put the sandwiches up, ready for them, and then they used to have something before they went. Never used to have a cooked breakfast like at that time at morning before they went to pit. Because she comes for it, doesn't she?
I know. I know.
You've been in it all.
I put money in your purse.
Yes.
Mother had all different meal times, you know, some coming off the day shift, some going on the afternoons, and me coming home at a different time completely when we got to work in time.
I think nearly everything we had in here was what I'd given until the boys got working like and started bringing a bit of money in, and then we started getting things together. First thing we got was a bedroom suite. We'd never had one. I like my china cabinet best. And I bought that when Father was living. And I bought it because that's such a lot of prizes belonging to kiddies. And I had them all in top 3 shelves. But as they've got married, I've taken them like to make room for a few more things what I kept getting. About 1957, I think, when we got a television. And we had a record player in there on sideboard. And when we used to sit in here and watch telly, Father used to lay on settee in there and put 10 records on. Records of Vera Lynn. Oh, I'll tell you what he used to always like to play. Oh, My Papa. He always used to like that record. My husband died when he was 62. And he weren't poorly a long, long time. One day, all his stomach was swollen up. And he came Saturday morning, doctor, and they rushed him off to Beckett's Hospital. And me and Irene went, and we hadn't been there long when he died. We still take flowers up to his grave.
Been on strike dozens and dozens of times. We never get no strike pay when we're on strike. We never had no strike pay yet. The richest union in the country, and you went. And we had that 1926 strike. Working class people who were all in debt. They were on strike 26 weeks.
Go down there, fat lad, go down there. You can ask thousands that's working in pit. If you ask them if they've ever regretted it, they might answer you by saying, if I'd like me life to live over, I'd go back down pit and work down pit. There's thousands on them in coal industry that have said that. Definitely.
What shift there, Ellen?
I'm not working. I've been off with my back.
Back.
I've been to see doctor and finished up, putting me under Mr. Price.
Not for working out fit, that.
Ah,
Tell it to go steady, that work too hard.
it's for being under law.
I've been working too hard all the time, Alan.
I've always said that, John.
Anyway, that'll get better, lad.
Comes to all as old uns any road.
I will, though.
Well, lots of football stories today in the FA Cup, but here now the hard facts in the shape of the classified check.
The FA Cup fourth round. Brighton and Hove Albion against Liverpool. Match played tomorrow. Charlton Athletic 0. Watford 2.
I don't pool. Well, I don't pools. I spend about £27. I don't fixed odds. To get 24 points with about 9 draws on Coolman, you can get out at pick, can't you? I get results off at while, I saw it telly. Get Saturday night, and then I check them. I sit down there, but I never jump up and shout. Better for them to come and me not know about it. I think that's the best way. If I got a big win, I'd get a bungalow somewhere at seaside, anywhere, Bridlington, and I'd settle down. I'd be satisfied walking, breathing that fresh air, sea air and that. To do me fine, that.
I don't think I'd like to leave Grimethorpe. You know, I wouldn't like to flit. Because my husband says if we come up on pools, he says, we'll be off. He says, will you go with me? I says, well, I'll have to do. I says, but I don't really want to leave Grimethorpe. You know, it's been my whole life, really, you know. I mean, know people, I mean, I don't go out a lot, but just knowing people to say, hello, how are you, know, it's surprising how much it means to you, you know. I think when you get down to brass tacks, I think you call a house like this your home, you know, more than what it's just a fantasy sort of thing and a dream when you go to Blackpool, you know, and you're going down the roads and there's all lovely bungalows and gardens and that. I think I always say, oh, it must be nice to live in a place like that, you know, and have a car and things like that. But it's only dreaming, really and truly, when you get down to it. This is home, you know. I always say I'm going home, you know.
Nil. Lincoln City 1, Exeter City 1. Oxford United 1, Scunthorpe United 0. Sheffield United 2, Walsall 0. Wigan Athletic 3, Port Vale 0. League Division 4. Aldershot 0, Crewe Alexandra 0. Bristol City 4, Colchester United 1. Bury and Darlington playing tomorrow. Doncaster Rovers against Reading, that match was postponed. Hartlepool United 1, Rochdale 2, Hereford United 3, Chesterfield 1.